Welcome back. We're starting the newspaper reviews with The Nation. A major headline: airstrikes kill terrorists in Borno, pound hideouts in Katsina and Kwara. Silva wanted by EFCC over $14.8 million fraud. Religion not Nigeria's crisis, says Soyinka. Nakon slashes 2026 Hajj fare to 7.6 million. Lottery: Lagos sues National Assembly for defying Supreme Court. Webolo revokes museums CFO, takes EU envoy to monarch. UNN VC objects to ex-minister Nnaji's certificate forgery suit. What do we have in The Nation? I have the Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka. He has faulted recent remarks by United States President Donald Trump, who classified Nigeria as a country of particular concern over alleged persecution of Christians. He warned that such sweeping statements distort reality and risk deepening religious divisions. So Trump had earlier in the month threatened possible military action against Nigeria over alleged killings of Christians by radical Islamists. The federal government dismissed the claim, insisting that insecurity in Nigeria affects citizens of all faiths. Now, in an interview with Democracy Now!, Soyinka said the country's crisis should not be mistaken for a war between Christians and Muslims, but rather seen as a struggle against extremist groups that have weaponized religion for political and economic gain. He says we must separate Nigeria's long-standing internal problems from President Trump's recent response. The Christian Islam or Islam versus the rest dichotomy has existed for decades. It became truly horrendous when politics got mixed up with religious differences. That's according to Soyinka. And he accused successive leaders of exploiting religion for power and failing to hold extremists accountable, which allowed impunity to thrive. And, you know, once I had to cite the brutal lynching of a student accused of blasphemy against Prophet Muhammad, and he lamented that killers went unpunished despite being caught on video. He says when perpetrators of such horrors go free, it strengthens the perception that a brutal war is going on between Christians and Muslims. In truth, we are dealing with extremist political Islamists, sometimes known as ISWAP or Boko Haram, not with Muslim and, you know, as a people. But he also talked about the fact that the president is doing a lot already to see how he can solve some of these insecurity issues. He just needs more of our support. Yeah.
So the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, yesterday declared former Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and ex-governor of Bayelsa State, Chief Timi Priye Silva, wanted over an alleged case of conspiracy and dishonest conversion of over $14 million. The amount is said to be part of the funds injected by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board into Atlantic International Refinery and Petrochemical Limited for the construction of a refinery in Bayelsa State. But Timi Silva has dismissed that and said it's just another persecution and smear campaign by his political enemies, as he claimed that there was no due process by EFCC in declaring him wanted because that they didn't invite him or send any formal invitation to him before making it public. But a statement by the EFCC's head of media and publicity, Mr. Dele Oyewale, said the commission on November 6th secured a warrant for Silva's arrest from a federal high court sitting in Lagos. They said the order was granted and that, that a warrant issued by the applicant or any is issued to the applicant or any officer of the commission, police or any law enforcement officer for the arrest of the respondent. And EFCC also said that they grilled the former executive secretary of the board, engineer Wabute, over alleged mismanagement of the brass project funds. So apparently, they had come to seek funding from Nigerian Content Board, and Nigerian Content Board had released $35 million to them for the to promote the energy for the infrastructure park in Obuama community, Brass local government area. Okay. But they said between 2017 and 2023, nothing has been done. And then there was a diversion of certain funds.
Okay. Another story?
Yeah, so the newly inaugurated Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, they swung into action immediately over this weekend after it was sworn in, and part of the successes of that action is the fact that they said 200 ISWAP fighters were killed in a clash with in this clash. It was airstrike. the airstrike was used to destroy the enemy's cache of arms and took place around Lake Chad area of Borno State, which is the epicenter of Boko Haram terrorists. They said there were 2 strikes carried out by the Air Force into the hideouts of the terrorists, gathering in Katsina and Kwara as well, and they were wiped out. In the words of the Nigerian Air Force spokesperson, Air Commodore Ihime Ejerodame, said that, he gave his account, he said the air assets conducted precision strikes in the southeast of Shwaram, and they were able to destroy Malam Fatori, where ISWAP elements and others were observed mobilizing with motorcycles and boats along the Lake Chad basin. They also carried out, the strike also took out weapon storage, logistics facilities, and eliminated several terrorists. Then they took another one that took place in Garindadi and Chigogo in Kwara State. They were striking bandits camp with devastating accuracy. I love the words with which they use. It was a precision strike, and it had devastating accuracy. According to the statement, it was based on credible intelligence and left bandits suffering. There was another attack again, in Kankara local government area of Katsina State. Some of the terrorists were killed and their logistics hub destroyed. They said this is in a bid to demonstrate sustained reach and precision in the air components of their attacks. We hear these attacks, strikes take place, but in this case, it seemed like in one day there were multiple coordinated happening around the country. So, thumbs up to the Nigerian Air Force. Okay.
Yeah, I have NACON announces Hajj fare reduction. So the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has announced a downward review of the Hajj fare for the 2026 pilgrimage. And this is following a directive from our president to reduce the Hajj fare to lift some burdens off shoulders of intending pilgrims. They say this offering is a significant financial relief to prospective Nigerian pilgrims across all operational zones. So the revised figures released by the commission show a reduction of up to 792,943.83 kobo from initial 2025 Hajj fare. And the latest reduction was recorded for pilgrims in the southern zone, where the fare has been reduced by over 792,000 naira, 792,943 naira. The revised cost for the southern zone now stands at a little over 7.9 million, which used to be about 8.7 million before. Those departing from the northern zone have their own also reduced by over 760,000 naira, bringing the revised fare to a little over 7.6 million, and so on and so forth. And just to say that, and also they put in the announcement that intended pilgrims need to complete their payments by December 5th. There's a lot of money that goes into traveling for pilgrimage. Yeah, even with the reduction by government, it's still a lot of money.
Huge lot, a plenty lots, if there's anyone like that. Let's take a short break now. When we come back, the paper reviews continue. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the papers. Moving on now to the Daily Sun. Major headline: Sultan cautions Nigerians, advises citizens not to allow outsiders divide us. As governors go spiritual, ask traditional rulers to consult gods of the land. Okay. PDP convention, Imo party chair orders demand sanction against Oyo judge. Nigeria's democracy under threat from electoral fraud, apathy, Dixon Amechi. More trouble for ex-Bayelsa governor Silva. WHO, FCDO hail Governor Mba's investment in health system development. A manpower shortage hits shipping sector. And domestic airlines need single-digit interest rates, a special FX window, according to Okonkwo, United Nigeria CEO. What do we have in the Sun?
Let me take. So the Sultan of Sokoto, chairman of Nigeria Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs, Alhaji Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III, has urged Nigerians not to allow outsiders to divide the country along religious lines. This was at the Media Security Summit that was organized by Arewa Media Practitioners Forum in Benin, Kebbi. He said that many families in Nigeria across the country have Muslims and Christians among their family members. So it will be difficult to differentiate them from each other. He said that, you know, we're all brothers, as Muslims and Christians are brothers and sisters, and we should sit down to discuss our challenges facing us and not allow someone from outside. We have internal problems, we can handle that internally, but do not allow them to separate us along religious lines. We had other people who were there as well. Lieutenant General retired Abdul Rahman Mbazel also said that bandits and insurgents do not differentiate Muslims and Christians, but always kill, rape, and displace soft targets. There was also a former chief of staff to the former President Goodluck Jonathan, and he said that more Muslims were killed in the northern states of Nigeria than Christians. He stressed that climate change, environmental challenges, and ecology cause a lot of conflict in the region, and advised the government at all levels to take decisive action against insecurity in the country, utilizing federal allocations and IGR to combat poverty, unemployment amongst youth. And then the governor of Kebbi State says there are no cells, like the insurgent cells within his state. He said he's distributed a lot of hillocks and motorcycles to security agencies as a way to assist them, you know, to help in securing the state. So this is just, you know, telling us to stay together and not be allowed to be
outsiders to come in. Okay.
Chairman of United Nigeria Airlines, Prof. Obiora Okonkwo, has urged the federal government to make single-digit interest loans and a special forex window available to domestic airlines to ease their operational burdens. Yes, he said this on Monday during the inaugural flight to Accra, Ghana, emphasizing, and I quote, that aviation is a catalyst for economic development. When you don't have Nigerian airlines flying in and out of Nigeria, it means we are cutting away a lot of Nigerian resources, because the benefits will definitely go to other foreign airlines. True. Yes, he said, he also stated that we are appealing to the Nigerian government to continue to support the aviation industry. A $1 trillion economy can never be achieved without aviation. He said transportation in every part of the world is an enabler. Without it, every other thing you're doing is in vain. We are prepared, we are ready, but we can't fly higher if we are overburdened with certain taxes and so many levies, more than anywhere in the world. And if emphasize that that they don't want free money. We don't want grants. We don't want free money. We are only just asking for single interest digits as a loan for the aviation industry. And I think that makes sense, because we need to have our own. When you go to Ghana to fly out or any other place, it's cheaper. Yeah. Nigerian airline tickets are always more expensive.
Yeah, so I have the story about manpower shortage. The president of African Ship Owners Association, Captain Ladi Olubowale, has warned that Nigerian maritime sector is going to be facing a lot of challenges, that they are grappling with a shortage of manpower shortage, and that about 5,000 cadets, trained cadets, currently do not have sea time experience needed to validate their careers. So they finished their certification process, but their certification process is incomplete if they don't have any sea experience. He said currently according to him, if the government were to disburse cabotage vehicle financing funds and new ships were acquired, the vessel will most likely be dominated by foreign professionals right now, because Nigeria has failed to develop its indigenous seafaring capacity, and that you cannot build a maritime sector if you don't have capacity. And if we have cargo ships again today, 85% of those cargo ships' crew will be foreigners, because we don't have capacity. The professionals who can drive it are aging, and they cannot be fit to continue working in that space anymore. So he's asking that the minister and the government steps in. He pointed out that the manpower development is crucial, and he also says unless urgent measures are taken to disburse, apparently there's a fund that needs to be disbursed, cabotage vessel financing fund, that if the measures to be taken to disburse it and disburse these funds and prioritize sea time training of Nigerian seafarers, and the nation will if not, the nation will remain largely dependent on foreign professionals for our maritime needs.
We don't want that.
I think there's an opportunity there for employment. Many Nigerians are looking for a job. Go and do training, and then the government should integrate on how they can get
final paper for today, Vanguard. Okay, insecurity. NAF strikes kill terrorists, bandits in Borno, Kwara, Katsina, and others. Nigeria's private sector credit soars 75.9% in 2 years. PDP pro-anti-convention forces fight as court adjourns case to November 12. Let's unite against extremism. Olubadan and Soyinka. 2027 rigging worst coup. Dixon Amechi. Why we declared Semi-Pre Silva wanted. EFCC. Trump threatens BBC with $1 billion lawsuit over January 6 speech edits.
Gang. Am I fighting many wars?
I'm telling you. WHO, FCDO hail Mba's commitment to health development. What do we have in the Vanguard?
Soyinka,
Okay,
he said majority of Nigerians wanted the scourge of terrorism to be fought to a standstill, but was not excited about the prospect of United States involvement in internal affairs of Nigeria, except through collaboration. So they said it was an interview. An interview with Democracy Now! Soyinka said Trump's sweeping statement has distorted the true picture of the conflict and risks deepening religious hostilities. He just, he's just saying that, we have the issue of extremists and that should be handled, but not to the point where we want another country to come and sort of take over unless they are coming to collaboratively work with us. My lips, my tongue fighting against each other today. And then he says that he talked about his visa that was revoked, and he said that he has been quite he has criticized Trump's administration. He says he has a feeling I haven't been flattering Donald Trump, and I see no reason to do that. Trump should feel flattered that I once compared him to Idi Amin, the former Ugandan head of state. Trump says he likes war, and anyway, he's just saying that, that was the reason why Trump revoked his visa, because he has not flattered him enough, and for him, he does not see any reason why he should do that. But concerning extremism, insurgency, yes, we do have that. And he also talks about how extremist groups have formed alliances with global terrorist networks and therefore have access to more sophisticated weapons and that's how they have been able to overpower our own military. So these are things that we should put before us to fight, not bring about division along Christian, Muslim, just as the Sultan of Sokoto just said, at another different event.
Yeah. So any other story in the Vanguard?
So I have the story of rigging is the worst coup.
Okay.
So the former governor of Bayelsa and Rivers State, Senator Serake Dixon, as well as Rotimi Amechi, have sounded a warning. They spoke at the 5th anniversary lecture of the first daily newspaper in Abuja, and they specifically Senator Dixon shared the occasion, and while he was speaking, he said that what many politicians call planning for election is not planning for election.
Okay.
He said what many politicians are doing is conspiracy to commit crime.
Away.
He said because as a governor in opposition, he fought a lot of battles to keep his state in opposition, and he seized it a lot. That the average politician is just, the election planning is not actual election planning. According to him, that people don't even vote. Votes are often written and ascribed to them, and people will now say go to courts. Anyone who has carried out or committed a coup against democracy, against the country, like he's saying that action is actually like you're committing a coup against the country. In Amechi's speech, he spoke about the fact that there is an entrenched agenda of politicians, and they will continue to frustrate reforms, and they accused the opposition party of failing to provide a credible alternative to the ruling party. He warned that there will be voter apathy and public indifference, which will create the conditions for rigging to continue if unchecked. Generally, he said everyone who has something to do with management of election is connected to the president, and so for him, that's a bit suspicious.
Thank you, ladies. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we'll move on to the topics for today. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.